Reed is on trial, right? Then why is Jen McCabe on the stand lying like she's auditioning for Law and Lots? Grab your snacks, grab your tea, and grab your holy water, because, baby, we gonna need all three. Jen McCabe is back on the stand today, and she is just lying her butt off, and the lies just keep stacking. Now, y'all, I was really trying to give her the benefit of the doubt. I really was. But at this point, Jen McCabe lies so much, I don't even think she remembers her original lies. In court, she literally admitted that she told the grand jury the same testimony that got Karen Reed indicted. And wait for it, she said it was unintentionally not true. Which means the entire base of this case is a lie. Like, unintentionally not true? What does that even mean? It's not a mix-up. That's perjury with glitter on it. She stated that she didn't remember Googling how long in cold before dying, even though her phone records show that she Googled that before Karen Reed even knew John was missing. And she tried to say she did it after the call. Now she's saying, I don't know. Like, ma'am, pick a lie and commit to it. At this point, Jen McCabe's testimony is giving more edits than a TikTok thirst trap. At this point, it's giving unreliable narrator, possible cover-up, and definitely not a credible witness. Stay tuned, stay seated, and stay ready, because the tea pouring never stops, especially when the lies are this sloppy, child. Cross-examining.
Called these officers back, correct?
Yes.
And you explained to them that you had been untruthful with them, correct?
I explained that I had forgotten to mention a couple of people that I had reached out to.
You had forgotten. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
You had forgotten. You remembered Matt, and you remembered...
Lied or forgot? Let's be clear.
You had forgotten the others that you had just contacted maybe 30 minutes before.
Yes.
There were 5 people that you contacted.
Look how irritated she is.
I contacted Matt.
Let's go through them.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I know 4 off the top of my head.
Okay, let's go through them.
She got the diabetes real bad.
Your husband, correct?
Yes.
You contacted Carrie Roberts, correct?
Yes.
You contacted Peggy O'Keefe, correct?
Yes.
Then, Ms. McCabe, you contacted the district attorney's office, correct?
My witness advocate.
The district attorney's office.
My witness advocate who works for the district attorney's
Thank you,
office.
Ms.
Yes
McCabe.
or no?
And you also left out that you contacted Brian Albert himself, correct?
Yes, my brother-in-law.
For some
Yes or
reason,
no?
your brother-in-law, who's the 30-year Boston police detective, correct?
Yes.
And on whose lawn John O'Keefe was found dead or dying. Objection.
I'll allow that.
Correct?
Yes.
For some
And is actually admitting to calling 5 people when she asked the feds to give her 10 minutes. She asked the feds to give her 10 minutes, and she makes a call to the DA's office. Matt, Peggy O'Keefe, his mom, Harry, and Albert. So let's be clear, they've been lying this whole time. Furthermore, did y'all see this clip? Another
the actual
witness.
words used. You're as detailed about all of that as the actual words used. She asked her to Google hypothermia and how long, and then you stopped, Google hypothermia, end quote, correct?
Correct.
You will agree, at least for that purpose, you painted a very, very detailed picture in front of the grand jury, didn't you?
Yeah.
And it was a lie.
Except it's not true, is it?
I did not hear her ask that. I was told she was asked that.
And you
the
testified she did.
Ms. Roberts, I'm not a trick question. What you told the grand jurors was not true. You never heard her, my client, ask anyone to Google anything, did you?
I did not.
And yet, that's what you testified to under oath.
To get an indictment.
Perjury in front of the grand jury, didn't you?
I did.
And the reason you did that, the reason that you said that false statement, was because someone told you to say it, correct? Object.
Is that? I'm going to let her answer. Nobody told me to say it.
Then how
I knew it happened at that time.
How did you
which
know
is why I said it.
How did you know it happened, Ms. Roberts, if no one told you it happened?
Because we wrote a timeline. We already spoke about that.
The timeline that Jen McCabe helped you with, that influenced your testimony in front of the grand jury, correct? Obviously.
I was telling what happened in the back of the cruiser.
The timeline you wrote.
So when you ask a question, let her answer, okay?
She
The
wasn't
timeline you
answering.
wrote with Jennifer McCabe's help influenced your testimony to testify in front of the grand jurors to a statement that you never heard, correct?
Y'all, they need a guilty verdict. If they don't get a guilty verdict, they are all screwed. Because they have all perjured themselves on the stand, both with the grand jury and in this case and in that previous trial, to the level that I think that there's enough to say that they all have affiliation with why that man is not here. I really think this is so bad for them that if they don't get a guilty verdict, everybody's going down. Everybody's going to be investigated. Questions are going to be flying from everywhere. And Karen Reed will be able to sue the hell out of them for lying on the stand. Because let's be clear, Jen also admitted to lying to the grand jury. So the very reason why they even got this case to be in court is based on a lie. The foundation of this case was based on a lie. The indictment was based on lies told by them. Like, really let that sink in. When I say this is a huge miscarriage of justice and they should not be able to do this, that judge, she's corrupt, allegedly. Why would that judge constantly be calling to pull them to the side? When do judges do that often? If ever, for starters, right? Secondly, the other question would really be why, and nobody's talking about this, why do we hear a siren every time they get caught in a lie? Every time they get caught in a lie, we hear sirens shortly after. It's trying to distract the jury. I'm telling you, this smells real dirty, and this should make a lot of people nervous because this could be any of us. Any of us.
Increased interest in trials coming up. I think one of the fascinating things we've talked about it is cross-examination. Sean has been coming up fast and furious, family. But if you're watching the cross-examination, specifically you're watching some with Karen Reed, and then in the next couple of weeks you're going to start hearing some coming up on the Diddy case. Cross-examination is a central part of what criminal defense lawyers or any lawyer does when we're trying to get questions out. It's starting first with the Karen Reed trial. I'm not just saying this because I am a criminal defense lawyer, but you're watching some awful cross-examination from the prosecution throughout the last couple of trials and through this one. Cross-examination is an art. It is asking individuals questions to get answers to advance your theory of the case. That's it. Anything else is superfluous. Anything else is simply you just trying to thunder away on Kendrick and find out if he ordered the code red. You're goddamn right I did. And so a lot of times people ask questions just to ask them. What should end up happening? You have a theory of the case. The theory of the case from the defense on the Karen Reed trial, and I think they're doing an amazing job of cross-examination, is not complicated. This is a cover-up, and now it's a cover-up of a cover-up. And so what they're doing is they're using grand jury testimony, prior trial testimony, and they're doing something calling impeaching the witnesses. Isn't it true on this date you said this? Yes. Isn't it true on this? You understand? They're asking short, concise statements to get the witness to say what they want. The prosecution, on the other hand, if you're watching this, are asking these nebulous, all over the planet type questions, and they're doing it. Let me make this clear. On cross-examination, what ends up happening is they are doing it to make themselves seem smart, not the other way around. Why is this important? Because I always say, a good speaker, a good writer, makes their listener feel smart. A bad speaker or a bad writer makes themselves feel smart. That is the reason those fucking shitty-ass Harry Potter books sell millions, so people can say, yeah, I read a novel, and it was this great love story. This woman named Hermione, I read it, and it was amazing. Because they're written on a 3rd and 4th grade level, so people appreciate this stuff because they say they can read novels because they feel smart. So when you're cross-examining a witness, your goal is to make the jury feel smart and come up with their own conclusion. Isn't it true you said this on this date? Isn't it true you looked into how to die in the cold or how long, whatever, that little hyperthermia. But those questions are simple, they're to the point, and they're elicited to advance the theory of the defense. That's why I think the defense in the Karen Reed trial is doing an amazing job, because their cross-examination is going to their point. That's why everybody on social media knows the point and the theory of the defense's case. My jacket, use y'all as a mirror. Because when you know your theory, when you know your theme, there's nothing better. If you want to know who are the best cross-examiners in the world, find an angry wife, Find an angry girlfriend who wants to ask you very specific questions. Where were you last night? Joni says that you didn't show up. I called Bob's and you weren't there. I checked your phone location. You weren't there either. Where the fuck were you? Who's that bitch? That's how cross-examination should take place. And the Diddy case is going to be just as fascinating because I think when Cassie takes the stand, the cross-examination of her is going to be withering. This is you in this video. This is you up there. This is you with your booty in the air saying, hey, what's up? That is you right there. That is you with a smile. This is you in the Gucci store. This is you in the Louis Vuitton short. This is you holding hands. This is you acknowledging this. This is you asking for the $30 million. This is all of you. These are individuals you know who are in consensual relationships. Cross-examination, John, it's going to be important. Take that, take that, take that, take that, take that. Take it.